What if I told you that the INTJ personality type is actually the perfect template for creating your next legendary D&D or TTRPG character? And no, I'm not talking about another brooding rogue lurking in the corner. Greetings, Traveler Sherman here from Geek Psychology. You know that moment when you're in character creation and you're staring at this blank character sheet, you're wanting to create something unique, something new, but you're not really sure where to start? Well, today I'm going to show you how to transform aspects of the INTJ personality type into 3 incredibly distinct character archetypes that will make your next campaign unforgettable. Before we create our character, let's do a quick stat check on INTJs, or the strategizing mystic, as we say within the RPG personality type model. INTJs are deep-thinking futurists who come up with solutions to problems that don't exist yet. They're masters of planning and foresight. They navigate through uncharted territory with a brilliant mind and an iron will. Their main abilities are visioning, which comes from one of the cognitive functions, introverted intuition. It's like having a constant scrying spell active. They're naturally spotting different threads of possibility and probability. According to Dr. Dario Nardi's brain scans, INTJs actually go into brief moments of trance where their entire mind syncs up, allowing them to come up with an expert level insight from their unconscious mind. They also use strategizing, which comes from the auxiliary function extroverted thinking. They are masters at implementing practical wisdom and solutions and turning insights into action. It's about doing what works and making progress. I'll be referencing these more throughout the rest of the video. Now that you understand the core powers of the strategizing mystic, INTJs, let me show you 3 different ways to transform these abilities into characters that your party will never forget. And trust me, the first one is nothing like your typical mysterious wizard. The good thing about science is that it's true, whether or not you believe in it. Your character stands atop their tower observatory, carefully mapping celestial patterns that no one else has noticed. As meteors streak across the sky, they realize these aren't random events. They're omens of an ancient prophecy unfolding. While others see falling stars, your character sees the threads of fate themselves. This is the reclusive genius archetype. This is perfect for wizards, artificers, or any knowledge-seeking class. The core power is visioning. Visioning shines through their research and their predictions. Gameplay mechanics would be high intelligence and wisdom scores. You might want proficiency in arcana or history. And some background options could be like a sage, a researcher, or a hermit. An ideal spell loadout would potentially be like divination spells, area control, and knowledge gathering abilities. You can imagine your character as literally pulling the threads of fate or doom. A character hook could be that their solitude isn't from antisocial tendencies, that's not very fun, but from being consumed by cosmic mysteries. And now they need to use their knowledge to save the world. This is really good for campaigns that involve prophecies, ancient mysteries, or world-altering discoveries. What if you want a way to influence events and not be connected to a tower? Well, there's a way to be the most influential person in the kingdom without anyone even knowing your name. This brings us to our second archetype. When you control the perception, you control the situation. The king's court bustles with nobles and their schemes, but your character, a seemingly minor scribe, sits quietly in the corner. What none realize is that every whispered secret, every subtle gesture feeds into your vast network of information. You're not just observing the Game of Thrones, you're orchestrating it. This is the hidden mastermind. It's perfect for inquisitive rogues or knowledge or order-focused clerics. Their core power, strategizing, extroverted thinking, manifests in system building and manipulation. Some of the gameplay mechanics you might want to focus on are high charisma for influence and intelligence. You want expertise in insight and investigation, and some background options you might want to consider are a courtier, noble, or spy. Focus on information gathering and social influence spells and abilities. And one of the character hooks that you could focus on is that this web of influence isn't about personal power. It's about steering events towards a better future that only you can see. So I imagine them running a few businesses and having connections all across the realm. Some campaign interaction or integration ideas would be thriving in political intrigue. conspiracy-focused campaigns, or any setting with a complex set of social dynamics. Now, I know what you're thinking, Sherman. These are all cool, but I want to be more involved in the action. I want to stab somebody. Well, our third archetype is about to turn everything that you know about the bookworm archetype on its head. Study the art of science, study the science of art, develop your senses, learn how to see. Deep in ancient ruins, your character traces their finger along forgotten symbols. Unlike typical scholars who simply document their findings, you are decoding ritual circles and tracking otherworldly omens. As others frantically prepare for the demon invasion, you're calmly referencing and researching on binding rituals and planar weaknesses. You don't just study the occult, you hunt it. This is the occult hunter. It's perfect for monster slayers, occult investigators, or dark knowledge seekers. One of the core powers is this combination of pattern recognition from visioning and tactical execution from strategizing. Some gameplay mechanics that you might want to focus on are a balance of intelligence and wisdom scores, expertise in arcana and investigation, and some background options are a haunted one, a sage with a twist, or a monster hunter. Some combat styles could be about exploiting enemy weaknesses through occult knowledge with specialized skills in ritual casting or symbol interpretation, dark lore. A character hook might be that they don't just pursue knowledge, they pursue the dangerous truths that others are too afraid to face. Every piece of lore is a potential weapon. Every ancient text is a possible key to victory. They're perfect for investigating cults and supernatural threats, maybe campaigns dealing with ancient evils, or uncovering and stopping apocalyptic events. These three archetypes are powerful templates, but here's where most players struggle to implement the INTJ's ability to see the reason behind things and their drive for self-mastery into their character. So let me show you how to avoid the three biggest mistakes and pitfalls that can turn your legendary character into just another NPC. Here's how to make it work. First, the lone wolf trap. Real INTJs don't actually prefer to work alone. They prefer to work with competent people. So instead of I work alone because no one understands my brilliance, you might want to try to position yourself as someone with unique knowledge and a plan to orchestrate it. So build your team of specialists that can help you carry out the plan. Some ways that you can implement this into gameplay would be like actively recruiting NPCs with unique skills that your character respects, creating a network of informants and specialists, using your visioning as a strength to spot potential and unlikely allies. So you can imagine them in a setting, in a campaign, going like, I don't need more people. I need the right people. You're a master of planar binding? Interesting. We should talk. Next would be the knowledge hoarder. This is where most players misunderstand the strategizing aspect. So it's not about hoarding information and not doing anything with it. It's about being strategic and strategically deploying that knowledge. So instead of keeping it all to yourself and keeping everything secret until the perfect moment, you might want to try this. Use selective revelation as a tool. You'll likely have to work with the GM to make sure that you have a way of becoming privy to information and insights. Within the game, you might want to share discoveries that move your allies towards your goal. You might also want to use knowledge as a currency in negotiations and create aha moments for other players by revealing different connections. The symbols on the tomb? Yes, I decoded them last week. And now that we face this particular threat, that knowledge becomes actionable. Next, the analysis paralysis issue. The INTJ's greatest strength can become their greatest weakness if you're not careful. So instead of endlessly planning all these contingencies, try this. Use your visioning to identify the critical path, and then use your strategizing to take action that's going to help you reach that vision. And to bring it into gameplay, you might want to set clear decision points with specific triggers, present the party with 3 options maximum, and maybe have a couple set methods that you follow through on for how you accomplish your goals. We have 3 viable approaches. Each has its own risks, but waiting creates more variables, not fewer. We move at dawn. So here are some power-up tips. The secret strength. Here's something most players miss. The real power of an INTJ isn't in knowing everything. It's in knowing what matters. Use your character's insights sparingly, but decisively. When you speak up, make it count. Build relationships with other characters based on mutual respect and competence, not necessarily friendship, not like heart lovey-dovey stuff. Create situations where your character's foresight and preparation pays off for the whole party. And use your insights to create moments of revelation that advance the story. Remember, your character's greatest assets aren't in their intelligence. It's their ability to see these patterns that other people miss and turn those insights into action. That's what makes a strategizing mystic, INTJ, truly legendary. So now that you have 3 templates that transform your INTJ characters into more compelling characters, remember that these aren't just character concepts. They're extrapolated expressions of real INTJ strengths. And when you play to those strengths, that's when legendary stories and characters unfold, and you create a character that you remember years from now. Let me know in the comments which archetype resonates with your playstyle, or if you're already running an INTJ character, share your tales of foresight and strategy below. And you can click on this video over here for a deep dive into the INTJ personality type, or this video over here that YouTube recommends to you.